Yeah. So we'll be at the bar.
Oh, yeah.
We'll find you.
We will always be at the bar.
We always run into those guys every single
I know.
con. We met them at C2E2 at the bar.
We met him in line. No, we met him in line for autograph for Tom King.
Is that where we met him?
Yeah.
I thought we met him at the bar, and then we ran into him the next year in the line at Tom King.
No, we met him in the line and then ran into him at the bar.
I was just mesmerized by this Goku's muscles.
Those are amazing. Oh my God. Wait till you see Tony on Sunday. He's doing He-Man. He's got a. I'll just leave it at that.
Is he a big muscle suit?
He's doing He-Man.
Or he's just been training hard.
It's
for
not
the
even a
last
muscle
3
suit.
years.
It's Tony's body, but he's wearing a muscle T-shirt.
Okay,
very
it's
nice.
fucking awesome.
That'll do.
It's hilarious.
I take it we're rolling on the video.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's no reason to not just dive into this then.
I like how
because
we're also like.
I thought we already
Chumpcast
started.
and Chuckload.
We have.
Unison.
This is so.
This is
like,
gold.
Is it weird that this is the most relaxed I've felt all day, like doing our own show?
Let's just do this
Cheers to
let's
that.
just do this till the show's over.
I like
Cheers.
it.
This is so relaxing.
Cheers.
Salute.
To you guys, man. To
Best
Podcast
peeps. Best
Central.
peeps.
Right?
Hell yes. Thanks to everybody who came out and either did a show or watched a show or came and just gawked at Svengoolie.
Oh
Right?
my God.
That just happened.
That was amazing.
It's just ridiculous. Like, this is, I guess we should talk about this. This is Podcast Central. This is the first year ever doing this at C2E2. Chuck, you had your booth set up last year. Basically, that was kind of like a trial run for this.
It was.
And it worked great.
Still awesome.
Yeah.
And we figured, you know what? The more we did these things, we did it at C2E2 and then we did it at Ace, and we're like, we need to bring our friends into this, bring the community into this, because there's no reason why it just needs to be one person doing a 10 by 10. This thing needs to be massive. There's an artist alley. There needs to be a podcast alley. And this is it. This is the seed that will hopefully grow
Definitely.
Podcast Central on a massive scale.
Oh, by the way, I saw the dates for next year. It's the end of March again. They're pushing it back.
Really?
Oh
You
my
already put it out there?
gosh.
Yeah.
Excellent. That's the best news I've heard all day.
I know. And maybe it won't be a frozen tundra in Chicago.
Or
That
the
is-
viruses will be killed off hopefully by then.
There
but
you go.
Is it on
No.
St. Patrick's Day weekend?
They'll be thawing. The viruses will be thawing out of the Chicago
The
Oh, yeah.
permafrost.
Thawing viruses.
So, for those of you that don't know, well, obviously, welcome to the show. But obviously, we've been working with Chuckload of Comics for 2 years now.
A while.
Yeah,
Since Infinity War.
I've done a couple of your shows. You've done ours. Shauna, unfortunately, this is the first time you've come on our show.
Unfortunately.
Yeah,
Well, it's-
unfortunately.
it's unfortunate it
I
happened
know.
sooner.
Well, thank you for letting me sit in. I appreciate it.
Of course.
Of
I love
course.
that we keep time by Marvel movies.
I know.
It's been since Infinity War.
It's been since Infinity War since we started doing this.
I actually do DC movies because I have a much darker view on life. Mark, you got
Or
anything to add
because
to that?
I'm on the podcast.
Yeah, that too.
That's pretty much the only reason we watch those movies.
So I guess this is technically episode 184 of the Chumpcast. I want everybody to kind of give me we'll just go around the table, give me a rundown of your day. Mark, obviously you can cover our day.
I'm just upset because I went over to get a pretzel and they were out of pretzels and the food was done by 5 o'clock. So I missed out on hot dogs, everything.
And that's the only thing you're going to remember about today.
I'm on a pure liquid diet today and it's not good.
How the hell
Right.
they run out of hot dogs? I just had a hot dog.
I know.
All right.
They probably just
I guess
hate
they
my
re-upped.
face.
They just re-upped. Huh?
They just hate me, I guess.
Shauna-
Why
I
did
don't
they
know.
stop selling food at 5 o'clock?
That's
They're
very
still
dumb.
selling
ask
beer
me.
to comic book kids, just not
Sorry,
not
Mark.
food.
That's smart. Shauna, why don't you recap our day, your day, actually, for...
Oh, man. Well, first of all, we got to see Tom Richmond draw your lovely face. That was fantastic.
Oh, my God.
That was like a dream come true, by the way.
I
Like,
know.
my Mad Magazine history goes back way before it should have. Like, I was a very small toddler. Probably not a toddler, but I was young enough that I should not have been reading Mad Magazine.
You weren't a small toddler. You were probably a 4-foot
I was a
toddler.
giant toddler. I was a
Let's be real
giant
here.
toddler, Chuck. But that was amazing, and I have a sketch that I will immediately frame and put up in the basement. So,
Perfect.
who else did you talk to, Shauna?
Oh, man, we got to see Svengoolie, who was actually the biggest draw to Podcast Central, I think. He had, his fans were here 20 minutes before the show even started. It was pretty cool.
He's a ravenous fan base.
Yeah, no kidding.
Like the only person we've interviewed this whole time that actually had cosplayers of them sitting around watching.
Yeah.
That was amazing. It was absolutely incredible.
I was mad we missed that, but my highlight was our interview with Joshua Williamson, who's the current
Nice.
Flash writer. He's writing Batman, Superman. That was really cool, and that was in a secluded little
Right?
DC room, and we had to knock on the door and everything. Some guy was like, "Who are you?" Like,
Really?
The Chumpcast? Come on in.
Get the fuck out.
Get
Yeah.
the fuck out of my face.
You are not welcome
Did you
here.
get a chance to ask him about the future of DC Comics and whether or not Marvel's going to buy him up?
Not really, but he gave me some really good advice for being a soon-to-be father.
He really did. He
did.
dove straight into
We
that.
talked
Really?
about being a father for like 10 minutes. He's like, it will change your life. I'm like, I've heard.
He
I've
was
heard.
like, it's an out-of-body experience
I
when your
know.
wife is giving birth. I was like, God damn, man. This I just wanted to talk about the Flash.
Yeah, seriously. It was cool, though. We talked about Red Death, which is that really cool-looking incarnation of the Flash in Dark Knight's Metal.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
He basically has like an exhaust pipe on his body, and he talked about how he came up with that idea and things like that. But it was great.
Yeah,
Nice.
very
Love talking
cool.
to him.
That's
Chuck, what
awesome.
else did you do today?
It was. We literally just wrapped up talking to Cullen Bunn, and it was everything I was hoping a Cullen Bunn interview would be.
Mm-hmm.
Not only did we talk about all the great comics he did for Marvel and for Dark Horse, but we got to do a deep dive on his family backstory. This guy, if you don't know the backstory of Cullen Bunn, I mean, he comes from a long line of just country folk that are very in tune with the supernatural. Dad is a hypnotist who used to bring people back into their old past lives, and if you've ever read any of Cullen Bunn's independent stuff, you know it's very dark, it's very weird, it's very spiritual, and he talks about it a lot at the end of the book sometimes with letters to the readers, and he talked a lot about that. I was
really
hoping we
cool.
would. It was kind of hard to kind of steer the conversation in that direction, and I really wanted to, but it worked. And he just went off. It was phenomenal.
So my grandma died. How about ghosts?
Yeah, right? I didn't know how to approach the subject. But
His dad was a medium.
His
he
dad
would be
was a hypnotist.
your great grandma is talking to me right now, like things like that.
No,
Yeah,
a
well, what he
hyp-
would
a
do-
hypnotist. He was a hypnotist.
he's
Okay,
a hypnotist,
he
but then
hypnotized people,
he would go
okay.
back and he'd say, okay, now that you're hypnotized, go back 10 years, go back 20 years and tell me what you're doing. Go back 30 years, go back 100 years, go back 200 years.
Yeah.
And people would start talking in languages that they've never heard of,
What
that
the
they have no idea.
I know, right?
He told us all these stories of just this crazy, and he's like a 14-year-old kid watching his dad do this. And he was part of the show sometimes. He'd bring him on stage, and he was a little hypnotist kid. It was an awesome story, and just talking. His dad had the ability to bring people back into their past lives.
Wow.
Because he's from the backwoods of I think South Carolina or Georgia or something. So interesting stuff.
That is
Cullen Bunn.
kind of interesting.
And we got to talk about him doing Wrath Tars for the first time in the Darth Maul comic book.
Very nice. We also had Joe Nuzzo from Pull the Lever and the Chicago D&D Society sent Andy over to talk about their upcoming projects. We're really excited about that. I'm really diving deep into D&D, and it's kind of scary.
Finally? Or is this your first time?
Joe introduced us.
Nice.
He kind of popped our D&D cherry, so to speak, and he's got us in a campaign right now that we're about to get into our third session, and we scheduled it for a Sunday morning because we know it's going to be about 8 hours long.
Right.
So we were just like, all right, prepare yourselves. Wear a diaper.
We're becoming those people.
We
like,
are.
Like Cartman on South Park when he's
Absolutely.
stuck in.
Mom,
bring me hot packets.
Exactly. No, I'm really excited actually for the rest of the weekend. I know that today has been kind of a whirlwind, just making sure everything went right. So it feels good to be able to sit down, relax, and have a beer with everybody here, and
Yes.
it's fucking man.
This is
C2E2
great.
every year is just
I really appreciated all the different podcast shows and YouTube shows that came out, and then their friends would come out and then be like, well, who's next? And
Yeah.
we would all kind of talk to each other and just form this similar topic that we can just discuss and dive into. So
And tomorrow's going to be fun too. Tomorrow's going to have a whole different feel because today was all about your shows, our shows, us all conducting our own interviews for our own channels. But tomorrow it's going to be all about other people doing their shows, and it's just so much fun to give the reins to somebody else and let them do their thing.
Yeah.
The look and the feel of the booth's going to change every single hour. At the top of the hour, it's going to be nonstop, just a revolving door of awesome shows, and we just get to sit back and watch and just enjoy.
definitely.
It's going to be wonderful. And
So
then Sunday we get to really just kick back and get
Drink.
drunk.
Oh yeah.
yes. So I know
Forward
that
to
your interview with some people tomorrow. This podcast will post after that's over, but obviously I want you to plug it. If you're listening to this, go to the Chuckload of Comics YouTube page so you can catch up about interviews with.
Joe Hill.
Very nice.
The one and the only, by far the biggest get. When they first started announcing guests for C2E2, the one that jumped off the page, and I sent an email to Sean. I'm like, oh my God, Joe Hill's coming to C2E2, and somehow the podcast heavens opened up and the angels smiled upon us, and we are going to have him in the booth at 10:30 tomorrow. The channel, we got him for 15 minutes and 15 minutes only, and so we're going to just pick his brain on everything we can, and we're going to put it up on the channel. I cannot wait. I'm so excited. I'm going to go to bed at 9 o'clock tonight just so I can wake up refreshed
Just thinking
for
about
Joe
things,
Hill.
what to
Just
ask
for
him.
you, Joe Hill.
Very cool.
Jedediah.
Very cool.
Are you gonna stick to? Are you just gonna go into everything?
I'm gonna
Or
start
just
out with
his comics, his Hill House comics.
Yeah, I
or
think I'm
what
going
are
to
you
start out
planning?
with Hill House Comics because it was the people at DC that
Yeah.
helped us get the interview.
Mhm.
So kick off with Hill House Comics. Got to talk about Nosferatu season 1 and 2. Obviously, Lock and Key just happened.
Yep.
Want to talk about his novels because that's where I found him. Even before I got into his comics, I was reading his books, and so it's going to be hard to cram it into 15 minutes, but we'll try. Because hell, just the Hill House Comics is like 9 titles. So we'll just skim over everything.
I have faith in you both.
And assuming we're gonna have a big crowd for that, people I'm sure are gonna shout out questions, and you're just gonna be like, no, I
this
have
is my
this
time. This
That's
is my
why
time.
the
You go back in
headphones
your
come in
carpet,
handy.
you.
Hire a bouncer, you'll be all right. Okay, let's talk about some movie trailers that came out this week. And I will not be surprised or upset if you have not seen the trailer for Rumble, which is an animated movie.
I loved it.
Will Arnett is continuing to make a killing in this voice acting world, and I know he's got this super deep voice. He's Lego Batman. He does all this stuff, and now he's going to play a kaiju wrestling monster, and it's kind of a kids movie. This is Paramount Animation. We've got Terry Crews is in there, Ben Schwartz, aka Sonic, Stephen A. Smith from ESPN, Tony Danza.
Mhm.
What?
I know that got Mark excited. Mark, when you watched this trailer, what was the first thing that came to your mind?
You know what came to my mind? It was the pec raises that Terry Crews did as his monster self.
Well, when I told you about this, you were like, wait, is this like the John Henry thing that he's doing? I was like, no. This is a different thing where he pops his pecs.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's his thing. That's his A.
it's his calling. It really is. And there are worse calling cards to have.
You know.
What is the last Paramount Pictures animated film that we've had?
Sonic.
Oh,
Was that
snap.
Yeah.
Paramount?
That was Paramount,
Damn,
wasn't
it?
it was.
It was.
Rango was Paramount.
Man, you got a really good memory. It was like a week ago.
Beavis and Butthead Do America, I think, was Paramount. That was
I
my
think you're
favorite.
definitely making that up. I'm pretty sure that was MTV.
No way. It was Paramount. Look it
Okay.
up.
For sure.
Quote me on that.
So this is a throwaway. But Shauna, you and I were talking before we started recording here because we just got a new trailer for Transformers: War of Cybertron Trilogy: Siege.
I don't
Right.
think I've ever seen a movie title with more than one colon in it.
Yeah, I know.
So this is supposed to be like a 3-part miniseries where it's going to be 6 episodes at a time, and they release them in 3 parts, and they take place at different times. Chuck, are you a Transformers guy?
I loved this trailer, and yes, I am.
Beautiful. Okay. So this is produced by the people at Rooster Teeth. So down in Austin, Texas, they got pretty famous basically by doing YouTube stuff. But this is coming to Netflix in 3 parts, like I said. Decepticons versus Autobots. But this is like a throwback to the original story as opposed to, hey, Mark Wahlberg is here, let's blow some shit up.
Yeah.
So tell me your thoughts.
It was the best parts of Bumblebee in one long trailer. It was that, in Bumblebee, that first shot on Cybertron, and I only saw it once, and a lot of stuff stuck out in my head just from that one viewing. I love that it was God, I'm drawing a blank. I've been drinking too much. The bad guy, freaking the main villain.
Megatron.
Megatron. It was Megatron doing the voiceover the whole time. Like as I'm watching, I'm thinking, is that Optimus Prime? Is it Megatron? It's Megatron. He looks like Megatron for the first time. We didn't see a Megatron that looks like Megatron in any of the movies.
Yeah.
He looks like he's supposed to look. You saw not just Optimus Prime, you saw 2 separate Primes, which looked freaking badass. You saw, it was just a smorgasbord of fun Transformers stuff. I like the animation style where it was obviously very cartoony, but you could see like the thick black lines. It almost
Yes.
looked like drawn. It was almost like a 3D version of Aeon Flux. I'm trying to figure out
Rotoscope, yeah. It's
however you did it. Like I don't know the name for it, but I love that animation style. I think it's going to be great.
beautiful.
The voices sound right and the characters look right.
I just think it's been so long since we got something that was true to the Transformers lore. I have to throw in a lore because Brick's not here.
Yeah.
But I'm actually very excited for this. So this, like I said, it's 6 22-minute episodes. This first series will be all set on Cybertron. So here for that. Absolutely. Get Mark Wahlberg out of here. I don't care about him anymore.
Is
So-
it a prequel? Is it happen way back in the past?
Yeah, I was going to ask. What's
so
the timeline?
the only real explanation you get is that there are 3 stages here, and this one is on Cybertron. So I assume that the Allspark leaves, and then the next series will be on Earth. But also, if they haven't been to Earth yet, how are they transforming into cars?
I've always wondered that.
Right.
I was wondering that in Bumblebee when the dude, what's his name, who's got the tape recorder on the front of his chest. That's an Earth
God,
thing.
how can I-
Bebop's
we are
an
just-
Earth thing?
We are totally just blanking on every Transformer name
I mean,
right
that's
now.
that's been a People have been wondering that for a while, even back in the cartoons and stuff. You go to Cybertron and Megatron's a gun. It's like, okay, do they have?
He literally is just a giant gun.
Oh, that's the best part of it.
So everybody knows what guns are in space? Okay. All right. The real news of this week, as far as trailers go, is that Candyman dropped. Okay, so this is not directed by Jordan Peele. This is very important. He is not directing this. He wrote and is producing it. This is directed by a woman named Nia DaCosta, and I feel like everybody's like, oh, Jordan Peele, he's got to be directing. No, Nia DaCosta is doing this. But this does seem like a very fresh take on the original story, and I'll ask you all for your horrifying Candyman stories in a minute, but it kind of seems like Watchmen's Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, he's the main character in this. He comes back to Chicago, to the Cabrini Green area to kind of delve into the history of this, and it seems like he's slowly transitioning into being the Candyman.
Yeah.
So the real question is he going to take it from Tony Todd, who was the original Candyman and who had a voice directly from the depths of hell? Shauna, did you see this trailer and what'd you think?
I saw the trailer. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be great. I need to revisit Candyman.
I thought you were going to say
original.
Cabrini Green. Like, well, it's
Need to
not
go
good.
back.
We were actually here when they demolished it. It was
Yeah.
pretty interesting. But I need to rewatch the original movie. I don't really remember much about it. I just remember when it first came out, my mom did not want me to see it, but we had a babysitter that rented it for us.
Nice.
So we ended up watching it anyway, and I was horrified.
That's everyone's first introduction to
Yep.
every horror movie ever is there was a babysitter.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mark, you were telling me that you don't remember anything from the
No,
original
I
Candyman.
think I was probably 5. When did it come out? 96?
92.
Okay, I was a year old.
Well, I mean, they made like 6 of them, but
Man, you guys
Yeah.
are young.
no, he's young.
But
Okay.
I'm looking forward to, I'm not going to butcher his name, the guy that was just Dr. Manhattan in Watchmen.
Wow, spoilers.
Oh, yeah, that
Oh.
is a huge
Cool.
spoiler.
Oh, it's been-
I
it's been
apologize
long
to
enough.
everyone who hasn't finished it, but it's your fault.
Mark, you're fired. All right.
Is Tony Todd have nothing to do with the movie? Because I mean, I'm watching the trailer, and I only watched it once. I don't know why I didn't binge it multiple times. But like when he walks up to a reflection, there was this one part where he walks up and he sees his reflection in the back of the car window. I thought for a second that it was Tony Todd looking back at him. Maybe I got to watch it again. Maybe that's total bullshit.
There's really only 2 reasons to not show his face directly. One is you want to surprise the audience. The other is he's not involved.
Yeah, he's probably not involved.
I really hope that he is, because what else would he be doing?
I know,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I
I,
don't know.
I liked the look and the feel of it. I didn't like that opening sequence with the girls in the bathroom. I thought that was really cheesy. I didn't think it was a very well cut trailer.
Okay.
I thought the look and the feel of the movie, there's something there, but whoever cut the trailer just didn't cut a very good horror trailer for a first look of what this movie's gonna look like. Because I didn't really dig the trailer.
That's
I'm
the
not-
most negative I've ever heard you be.
Yeah.
I'm kind of with you, though.
Mark your calendars. February 26th. Chuck doesn't like something.
Wow. I am blown away.
Did you
I
guys
thought-
like it?
I loved it.
You
I
loved
thought it
the
was great.
trailer?
I didn't love it. I was meh with it.
Well, you don't have a really
I was mad with
good
it.
tie to the original. I mean, I think this is great. You've got loads of blood, which is exactly what I want out of a Candyman movie. There's the bees coming in, the hook. Everything I want is here. Just missing Tony Todd. Give me Tony Todd.
The hook looked cool, but it just reminds me of Nightmare on Elm Street 2, where the guy becomes Freddy Krueger, and it was like, can't you just, like, it's been a long time since people have seen Candyman. I don't think you need to reinvent the wheel. Just make Candyman the way it was. This whole, like, dude turning into Candyman, it might be awesome. The jury is still very much out in my mind.
Okay. Well, Jordan Peele did another thing where he cut together like an old school song and made it
Beyonce.
completely relevant to this. So I got 5 on it when we got the Us trailer. This time he did Beyonce, Say My Name, which obviously fits, very apropos. I'm like, what is next for him? Like, what ridiculous song can he possibly turn into a horror flick next?
That new Justin Bieber song, what's it called?
Yummy.
Yummy,
Yes.
yummy, yummy.
I was just
You
going to
love that
say,
song. You love that song, Chuck.
I was just
That's how
gonna
it goes. It goes, yummy, yummy, yummy.
Nailed it. I was going to say, you're asking the wrong group of people, and then, of course, Mark jumps in. But yes, I know the Justin Bieber song.
Was it this week that the Saw movie, the Saw trailer came out, or was that last week?
I think that was
Last
2
week.
weeks
Okay, I
ago.
missed
yeah.
a week. I missed a week.
That's okay, though. Okay, let's talk about some local news. This is kind of exciting, and Shauna, maybe you can talk about this a little bit heavier, but this is an exhibit that is dedicated to Marvel superheroes, and it is coming to the Museum of Science and Industry in October.
That is correct.
Yes.
So-
I have known this for quite some time.
How
How
dare you
Have the
hold
insider.
this?
I
How
know.
would you know this?
Because I work there. I know, right? But anyway, this exhibit. So actually, we have a booth here at C2E2 this weekend, and we are pre-selling passes to the exhibit. So it's like early access to the exhibit before anybody else can go.
Okay.
I might know some people that could get you guys in earlier.
Wow.
But yeah,
Awesome.
so this is
Ah.
this is interestingly enough the most expensive exhibit we've ever
I
paid
believe it.
for.
It's
Wow.
Marvel.
Yeah.
More than those shitty robots that kept breaking down?
Hey, we built
I'm sorry.
those.
I'm sorry. Never mind.
That was our
Wow.
exhibit.
Okay.
Oh, can we edit that part? I will edit that.
Absolutely not. It's already live. It's already on the ether.
But yeah, it launches in October.
So the quote on this directly is assembling more than 300 pieces of memorabilia sourced from Marvel movies and comic book artists. Guests come face to face with statues of Spider-Man, The Thing, Black Panther, as well as costumes. Blah blah blah. This sounds awesome.
It's going to be pretty awesome. I'm
Do you,
telling
do you know
It's-
any of the specific? Is it going to be like Ant-Man's electric drum kit, or is it
No,
going to be
there's
like?
actually full-on costumes. I think there's there's a full-on Iron Man suit. I'm not sure from which movie. There's a full-on Doctor
I think
Strange.
it's Mark
like-
43.
It's I know. No, there's full-on costumes in there because we had to have people come in and measure our air temperature and everything just to
Really?
make
Whoa.
sure. Yeah.
What is your air temperature?
I don't know, but it's got to be specific for this.
Don't you guys
exhibit,
have
so-
mice running around there?
Hey, shh. No, we do not.
Please
no,
tell
we
me-
do not.
Just saying.
Please tell me there's a Michael B. Jordan raised skin dot as like in a case.
It's a whole bag of them.
Not
You could just
sure.
poke it. You could just poke it like, oh my god, this is amazing.
I did always kind of wonder what those felt like.
Yeah, me too.
Like, is it hard or is it soft and
I don't know.
jiggly?
It's got to be hard. It's on Michael B. Jordan's
That's a good
bod,
point.
dude.
Okay. All right, Mark. This
Chuck's
is
like, whoa.
All right.
more directly at you. So DC Universe has announced that they're greenlighting a 13-episode second season of Harley Quinn. So this ended like a week ago,
Mm-hmm.
and this second season is dropping in April 3rd.
I feel like I'm the only
What?
person that watches that. This
Yeah, but
year,
I'm dying
right?
to watch it. I hear it's
Okay,
great.
It's great. It's one of those just turn your brain off and laugh kind of things.
I hear it's awesome.
Yeah.
So this is a really quick turnaround. First of all, is this because DCU is just like struggling for content?
100%, because they haven't had anything since the Harley Quinn animated show, and that came out a little while ago.
Was really looking for some pushback on that. Like, no, it's great.
No,
Oh, fine.
no, I agree with you. The only reason I renewed is because I was like grandfathered in, where it was $55 for the year, and I'm like, whatever,
Nice.
and don't really care.
worth
Even
it?
though, well, it has all the comics there. Now they're getting better about actually updating it. You won't get like the latest issue that just released the
6
previous
months
week.
in arrears, I think.
I don't know, something like that. But still, you can go back and read some good runs,
Yeah.
you know, that just happened.
Sure. I mean, this wouldn't be enough for me to renew it.
Mhm.
They already moved Doom Patrol off, which was my favorite thing on
Yeah, it's
DCU,
a
but
bummer.
Where did they move it to?
HBO Max.
I was going to say, isn't HBO Max just going to sort of take over the DC streaming service?
So
I mean,
now we know that Marvel's going to buy DC, HBO's going to buy DC.
Oh my god.
Who else is going to buy DC?
I'll buy DC.
Titans, I think, is going to HBO Max.
Let's put our
$20.
money together. We'll buy DC.
Titans.
Absolutely.
Too?
Okay.
Wow.
I think so. Yeah.
So this is kind of sad. Daniel Radcliffe made me Daniel Sadcliffe.
This guy just cut right through our booth.
Sir, come back me
He
out.
just
We are
he just
recording.
wandered through like he.
Excuse me.
Yeah, what are you going to do?
You saved like 2 seconds off your trip.
He's like, I gotta be in this right now.
Wow. Okay. So everybody else is aware of the rumors that Daniel Radcliffe was going to be Moon Knight. Apparently, that is not the case.
Oh, thank God.
Okay.
Not what?
I didn't
You
even
don't
hear
like
about
Daniel
that.
Radcliffe?
As Moon
Is
Knight?
Moon Knight?
He can
No.
play a crazy
Wow.
person.
Chuck,
Excuse
you
me,
don't
but
like this?
I
I-
want Keanu Reeves as Moon Knight. He is going to join the MCU.
Well,
I
No,
want
no.
Keanu Reeves.
Okay, yeah, I've heard that theory too.
Anyway, no.
Anyway,
Daniel
sorry.
Radcliffe is Moon
Daniel
Knight.
Radcliffe is a good actor.
But is Moon Knight's like a rooftop badass Batman-esque freaking character? He's got to have like he's stacked. He's a rooftop
Okay,
superhero, man.
hang
You
on.
can't have,
You didn't
you
see
can't have
this-
Harry Potter
You di-
jumping around from freaking chimney to chimney.
You didn't see the trailer for Akimbo Guns or whatever.
Guns
it was.
Akimbo.
Yeah.
I did. It
Did
was
you?
dope.
He's a badass in that. Well,
But he's not
kind of
big enough for Moon
Yeah.
Knight.
Okay, if Robert Pattinson can be Batman, Daniel Radcliffe can be Moon Knight.
No, Daniel Radcliffe's Harry Potter. Move on.
Oh wow! I'm very upset by this.
Maybe
I
that's
wanna
the
hear
maybe,
your, wait, I
putting
want to
him
hear
in a
your
maybe that's
thoughts
the
on
4% alcohol talking. I don't know.
What, tell me.
I had a quote for this, but
Oh,
now I'm
sorry,
just
as
like,
you were.
Say the quote
No,
so I
it's-
can boo you right now. Say it.
Well, this is from Daniel Radcliffe. It's not from me. So
Okay.
it says, if I was ever going to go back into a franchise, I think the bar for that script would be even higher than anything else. That makes sense.
Yeah.
He obviously is known only as Harry Potter and nothing else to
Okay.
Chuck. He has done other movies that were good. Horns was good.
That's true. Joe Hill. By
There
the
you
way.
go. So I
Horns
think
wasn't
this.
that good.
Really? Wow.
And I love the book.
That's
Maybe it's
two
because I love the
things-
book. Maybe
Two
it's 'cause
things
I love
that
the
Chuck
book.
is not
Why
like
am I in
today.
such a negative mood today?
Dude, you need to eat
You guys
something.
caught me on a good day.
Awesome. Love it.
Okay. Well, he says that he can officially debunk that when he hasn't heard anything about it. So apparently not going to be Moon Knight.
Thank God.
I saw your notes. Were you going to say, well, this is Sadcliffe or something?
I already
He
did.
did.
You
Oh,
missed
you
it.
did. Damn it.
Damn it.
You
I
weren't
missed it.
listening.
I missed it too. Shit.
You went by it too quick. You didn't let it simmer.
We'll just rewind it.
Damn
It's
it.
because we talk over you guys.
Sorry, hang on.
Sorry.
Daniel Radcliffe made me Daniel Sadcliffe.
Boo. Okay.
That's what you wanted?
There you go.
Okay. Mark, you sent me this piece of news because apparently you're excited that Christopher Nolan's Tenet, starring John David Washington, reportedly has a budget of $205 million, making that his most expensive movie yet. That's up there in terms of movie budgets.
And what do you think it beat out? Inception, I would assume.
Probably. Yeah, that makes the most sense.
That's crazy, though, that they're putting that much money into this movie.
Is it?
More than Dark Knight.
Yeah.
You don't think? Yeah.
More than Dark Knight, more than Dunkirk? Yeah, which,
Wow.
I mean,
Dunkirk.
how you hated that too? You hated that Oscar award nominated
Did you
movie?
like Harry Styles in it?
I didn't see it actually.
Oh, Jesus.
I didn't see
Come on,
Dunkirk.
Chuck.
Daniel Radcliffe wasn't in it. I'm not in it.
I'm out.
This is really going off the rails fast.
Sorry,
I
sorry.
kinda- No,
I'm bricked today, man.
I kind of dig
Yes.
I'm bricking it.
it. Can you throw
He
a-
would say
Amazing.
he would say something along the lines of Dunkirk. I'm just saying.
You're 100% right. And he would also be like,
out. I'm out.
peace, give me the lore. It is a period piece. So, okay.
Great.
We'll just keep flying through this then. Colin Trevorrow took to Twitter this week to announce that Jurassic World: Dominion had begun filming. This is another billion-dollar franchise that just kind of keeps pounding away. Shauna, did you see the last one?
I did not because I did
Good.
not like Jurassic World.
They were all bad.
Okay,
Chuck.
thank you.
They've been very bad.
They were bad.
Yes.
They were so
Yes.
bad. You didn't touch on one single thing I liked so far.
Chuck, I'm
That's
going to turn
amazing.
you against everything on this
Yeah,
very
you
episode of the Chumpcast.
I'm actually a little bit excited about Jurassic World 3, only because of that little featurette thing they made, where the people were off camping and then they walked outside of their camper and like the Triceratops came and fucked some shit up.
Yep.
That was dope. I don't remember the name of it, but that was pretty cool. And the fact, I don't like the word Dominion. I think Dominion's a stupid name for a movie. They could have done better. They could have been like Jurassic World 3.
fucking
Domination?
dinosaurs,
This
man.
is our planet. You know, fucking dinosaurs, man.
T-Rexes.
But yeah, I think they could do it with number 3.
Chris Pratt is out here saying, like, we got the money to pay everybody to come back and do their cameos, and
Okay.
I don't know, Jeff
Didn't they-
Goldblum's going to come take his shirt off or some shit.
Oh yeah, they got the little kid coming back.
Oh, wow.
I don't
Is
know
that-
what he's going to look like now.
that
I'm
gonna get you to
excited
go see
just
this
for
movie?
that. I want to see what this kid looks like now.
Wasn't the little kid in the last one just the worst little kid ever? He like wouldn't shut up when there was a
Yeah.
raptor right outside his bedroom.
Isn't
kid
that just
sucked.
kids?
I guess.
Oh man, you guys are
Wow,
gonna
you
make
guys
great
get it.
fun.
I
Soon to be
know.
dads. Soon to be dads.
All right.
Fucking children.
Goddamn kids.
All right, last bit of news. Steven Spielberg has taken the decision to step down from directing Indiana Jones 5, but he's going to remain attached as the producer, which probably means nothing. However, exciting news, James Mangold is in talks to actually be directing this. So James Mangold did Logan. He did
Yeah.
Ford vs. Ferrari more recently. 310 to Yuma. So he's an excellent director. And if anybody's going to do this and make it not a piece of shit Indiana Jones movie, it's probably
Be
him.
this guy.
Wow.
Do we have any thoughts on this, other than crabby old
Yeah.
Harrison Ford?
Well, but who's writing the script?
Yeah, well, that's a good question, and I don't have the answer
very
to
good
it.
Yeah, that's a big concern.
I don't
The
think
last
anybody wants this
script
movie to happen. I
sucked.
don't know how this movie is even happening. I don't think Harrison Ford even wants to make this movie happen. I mean,
Nope.
he hates doing Han Solo. What makes everybody think he's going to get excited about doing Indiana Jones again?
Right. right.
He's much like Chuck in that he hates everything.
I love everything. You just caught me on a bad day.
I know.
A bad day. We're at C2E2, Chuck.
Now, what do you think?
A bad day.
Good point. This is like my favorite weekend of the year, and somehow I'm just hating on everything. I don't know. I mean, what do you guys think? I mean, should they recast Indiana Jones as with a whole new character or a whole new actor?
If you do, you have to have Harrison Ford in there to like hand the mantle over.
Yeah, hand the hat.
Yeah.
But other than that, no.
That's a bad idea. Indy has to die. Just let it go. No young indies. No new indies. Just fucking indies. Just go, man.
You heard it first.
Just fade away.
You heard it here first. Chuck wants Harrison Ford to die.
Die. Just die. Come back in a sequel.
I think that's exactly what he said, but all right.
That's
what I
what I
meant.
heard.
That's what I meant.
Okay, so we are running a little bit short on time because we have somebody actually coming in here. Who is it?
David
Chuck?
Nakayama.
There we go. Okay, so I think maybe we just jump ahead to our recommendations for the week, and I'll go ahead and kick this off if you don't mind. I've been watching Hunters on Amazon Prime. It's actually really damn good.
I heard it was good. We watched the first episode, but we were a little buzzed, so...
We'll go back and rewatch it,
We
or
will.
don't. Just keep going. It's fine. You kind of know what happens. But Al Pacino just seamlessly made this transition into old Jewish man. I don't know when this happened. He's just going to keep doing this forever now. But the acting is fine. It's kind of corny at points. But I love alternate history stories. I love revenge stories. And I love period pieces, which this is all of those things. So I'm absolutely here for this. I'm 4 episodes in, and I cannot wait to get through the rest of this.
Oh, that's good to
So,
hear.
look at that Harley Quinn. Sorry.
Hi.
You look great.
Mark, what is your recommendation for this week?
I'm going to recommend a comic, Bang! ! It just released by Matt Kint, and had a rave review on the front cover by Keanu Reeves, which is what gravitated me towards the shelf to grab it. Supposedly, they're going to option this for a movie, and the first issue is very promising. So
there's one issue and they were already optioning it for a movie.
correct?
Wow.
Interesting. Okay.
Correct.
Can you tell me literally anything about it?
It's about a Mission Impossible type scenario, and there's just a lot of murder. It's kind of like Die, 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 the secret release book that Kirkman put out.
Yeah.
But I love it. That's the kind of shit I love.
Oh, man,
You know.
that's
Death.
awesome.
Yeah.
Death in
Death.
comic
You and
books.
Chuck, right?
A lot of blood.
Death in
That sounds
comic
great.
books.
Yeah.
That
Check
sounds
it
like
out.
Mantle.
Definitely, you need to check it out.
Sean, is there anything that you've been watching, reading, doing?
So actually, we just started watching season 2 of Castle Rock.
Okay.
Oh my God,
And it's
so
really
good.
You do not have to watch season 1. Just
I don't
jump
even
in
recommend
season
watching
2.
season 1. Just
Yeah,
skip season 1 altogether.
Season 1 and start on season 2. It's amazing. It's just about. Do you know Castle Rock?
I'm loosely familiar
It's
with
just
Stephen
all.
King.
It's just all the Stephen King
Yeah.
characters, but it's not. It has nothing to do with any Stephen King books or anything. It's just the characters.
It's just Easter
And
eggs
these-
and like
and it's-
little mentions of things that. Oh, that reminds me of
The
a
acting's
Stephen
great.
King
Tim
thing.
Robbins is in it.
It's incredible.
great.
Don't watch season 1 at all. Skip right to season 2. It's gonna blow your mind.
Yep.
Okay.
It's
Wow.
insanely good.
I don't know if I could do that. Just skip to
Just
season
do
two.
it.
It's think of it as American Horror Story. It's not. It's
Okay.
not. It's
Oh, okay.
season to season. Yeah.
No, he's like me. He's like a completionist where you has to like
Yeah.
if you know that something is out there and it doesn't like it exists, you have to watch it.
Well, it's
Yeah.
unnecessary.
Well, I have to recommend. I have been since the first trailer for Invisible Man dropped, and everybody said, "Chuck, you're crazy. This movie looks terrible. It looks so dumb." I said, "No, this trailer's killer. This movie's gonna be badass."
It's been killing it. I've
And
heard.
Mm-hmm.
we haven't seen it because we've been setting up for C2E2, but the reviews are in, and it is crushing. They're saying it's the best movie of 2020 so far. So, having not even seen it, I recommend everybody go see Invisible Man because I said it was going to be good, and son of a bitch, it turns out it was good.
I can't
All
wait
right.
to talk to you in a week and you're like, I hated it.
Well, no, I'm going to love it. I'm going to love it.
All right, I got one other recommendation. That's Altered Carbon Season 2 just dropped on Netflix.
Ooh.
I'm a big fan of the books, and I like Season 1, so I'm going to check that out, and I'll get back to everybody next week.
They made a
But-
book out of that?
God damn it, Chuck.
I
It
didn't
was
know
a
that.
book first.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Okay. Well, that's going to wrap up our very brief episode 184 of the Chumpcast. As always, you can follow us on all social media platforms at the Chumpcast. You can plug all your Chuckload of Comic stuff.
Yeah.
YouTube channel.
Yeah, guys, check out Truckload of Comics on YouTube, truckloadofcomics.com. And we're going to post so many awesome C2E2 interviews and all of our con coverage all weekend long. So check it out. And thank you guys for A, having us on,
Yes,
and B,
thank you.
Yeah.
helping us with
Cheers.
making Podcast Central a
You
thing.
guys chugged your beers.
This is not a
obviously.
one-man show. This is a 3-man, 1-woman show.
Beautiful. Well, thank you very much for allowing us to be here. And Mark, until next time.
Jumps out, mother.
Great.
I didn't want to swear, but I guess motherfuckers. I'm low. I'm
You didn't
quiet.
sign the contract. You're
Yeah,
good.
yeah, we're
That's
good.
true. I did it.
We can completely just
Chumps out,
bash
motherfuckers.
C2E2 right now.
Fuck, shit, ass. It's not Kids Day. Oh,
That's true.
this is on?